Hey guys, Sue's here. Welcome back to another one of our weekly keto recipe videos. This week my husband is actually taking over with some quick and easy keto appetizers and keto snack recipes that you could even use for some quick and easy keto lunches throughout the week because they all store perfectly well. If you are new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining our crew. And if you're already a member of the crew, welcome back. Let's get into the video.
I wanna catch the wave.
First up, he made these awesome keto Asian chicken meatballs adapted from a recipe by Kyndra Holley over at Peace, Love, and Low Carb. As always, I will link it down below. First off, to a bowl, he added 2 pounds of ground chicken, a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, 2 cloves of minced garlic, and a tablespoon of fresh grated ginger, but by fresh, ours came out of a jar in the refrigerator. To that, he added 2 large eggs and 2 stalks of green onion that he just thinly chopped up. Also, a teaspoon of sea salt and a half a cup of coconut flour. And in the original recipe, she also adds cilantro, but he skipped over that because he knows I'm not usually a big fan of it. After he got all of that added together, he just got in there with his hands. You're just going to mix it until it's all well incorporated. Went ahead and got a cookie sheet and lined it with some parchment paper, and then he's just rolling these out into about 1/2 inch diameter balls. Has his oven preheated to 400, and he's going to roll these all out and then pop them into the oven for about 15 minutes or until they get 165 internal temperature. While those are cooking, he's making this spicy dipping sauce with a tablespoon of liquid aminos, 1.5 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, a tablespoon of sriracha, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar swerve, a clove of minced garlic, and 1/4 of a teaspoon red pepper flakes, which definitely gave it some kick. He's just going to mix that together until it's all incorporated and stick it to the side. And here it is all plated up. These were so freaking delicious. Oh my goodness. The sauce was really spicy, but I really liked it like that. These also stored in the refrigerator and reheated really well, so you could even make them as a meal prep if you were, making keto lunches to take with you during the week to work or what have you. Next up, he made some Bacon Wrapped Mozzarella Cheesesticks. Now for these, you're going to need the store-bought pre-cooked bacon. Check the carbs on it, and it is expensive. We bought it on sale. But you're basically just going to take 3 strips of bacon per cheese stick. He made 12 cheese sticks, and you're going to start wrapping it around the cheese stick. And where one slice of bacon ends, you add another, and you just kind of tuck the ends in on either side. He didn't even use any toothpicks or anything. We are using a broiler pan that is ancient. I think it was one of my mom's from probably one of the first ovens that her and my dad ever bought. That's how old it is. So he did spray that with a little bit of olive oil spray, and he's just going to wrap all of those up, stick them on top of here. You could use a wire rack for this, but I don't have a wire rack that's not coated, so this is the best thing that we had. He has his oven preheated to 425, and after he wraps these all up, he's just going to stick them in there for, I think he cooked them for 8 minutes. The recipe says 6 to 10. Here's what they look like when they're all wrapped up. And here they are when they come out of the oven, and we just plated them with a little bit of marinara sauce to dip them in. This is actually a 3-cheese marinara that I made and froze in 1/2 cup portions, but you could use a low-carb marinara like Rayo's. He loved these. I actually didn't like them that much because the bacon had that fake hickory smoke flavor to it, and I don't like that. I like just straight bacon. So the next time we make these, I will try to make the bacon myself and just not fry it hard, and then they'll be better. Next, we have these awesome cinnamon cocoa roasted almonds from Beauty and the Foodie. So to start with, he took a cookie sheet, lined it with non-stick foil, and put 2 cups of raw almonds on there and roasted them in the oven for about 10 minutes on 375. While he was doing that, he got a kind of a large saute pan over medium heat and went ahead and melted 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Added to that a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of sea salt, and a tablespoon of granulated swerve. And he's just going to mix that all together until it's all melted and almost like a little syrup. And then he did go ahead and cut the heat off on that. Now the almonds are out of the oven. He just poured them all into the pan, and he's using a silicone whisk to make sure that those are all mixed together and evenly coated with the syrup that he just made. And just on that same cookie sheet that he had, he just kind of dumped those all out, and he's taking another tablespoon of granulated swerve and a tablespoon of cocoa powder, and he is trying to sift that on there, but this sift wasn't fine enough for the cocoa powder, so as he told me, it just kind of glomped out there. So he is going to go ahead and take that whisk and mix it all back up just to make sure that the seasoning is evenly on all of the almonds, and then he's just going to leave them on the cookie sheet to actually cool and harden, so they're like candied almonds. These were so good. Oh my gosh, these are reminiscent of like Jordan almonds. Not as good as Jordan almonds, really, but hey, they totally quenched that craving that I've had of candied nuts. So there you go. Next up and lastly this week is this awesome, brilliant recipe from Carolyn, Ketchum at All Day I Dream About Food. Mini taco bites. These are another one that make a perfect keto lunch. For these, he took a pound of ground beef, and this is actually pretty lean. I think it's like 88% lean ground beef. And you just go ahead and start browning it. And when it is mostly browned, you're going to go ahead and add your taco seasoning. So I do believe he probably made a batch of Carolyn Ketchum's taco seasoning for this and added 3 tablespoons of that to the meat. But when I make things like this, I just wing it and basically put in a whole bunch of cumin, a little bit of oregano, a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, some paprika, mostly cumin, a little bit of cayenne, you know, just the usual suspects for your taco seasoning. Whatever you got, put that in there. And he's just mixing that up really well. And after that's good to go, he just took it off the heat and sat it to the side. And in a separate dish, he's taking 6 large eggs, and he's just going to whisk those up until they're nice and scrambled. And then he's going to take the taco meat that he just cooked up and just pour it into the eggs. And he really took his time with this part. I would have just like plopped it on in there and had eggs splashing everywhere. So. And then he added about a half a cup of thinly shredded Mexi blend cheese. You know, there are some carbs in pre-shredded cheese because they add a little starch to it to keep it from sticking, but it really didn't add that much. And so for us that worked, but if it doesn't for you, shred your own. Took a mini muffin pan, sprayed it with some olive oil spray, and then he's just going to spoon the filling into the pan. And now he's just topping each of them with a little pinch or 2 more of cheese. And he does have his oven preheated to 350. And he just popped these in there for 15 minutes. And this is what they look like when they come out. He just plated them up with some sour cream, some taco sauce, and a little bit of chives in the middle. And we just dipped these. And like I said, these stored and reheated beautifully. We actually ate them for lunch all week. There you go, guys. That's this week's keto recipes video and ideas for you for some quick and easy appetizers. If you're looking for ideas for keto party food, a keto brunch, or like I said, just some things to pack in your lunchbox during the week if you're following a keto diet and living a keto lifestyle. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew. My will is strong with a place to lean. In the moment I hung desperately. The other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light.